Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the first issue of Steve Rogers' Captain America. And overall, when in the beginning of the comic, I didn't have much issues with. It was pretty much towards the end where things unraveled for me. And I like kind of how they set up Steve's status quo. He's got kind of more support network now with Jack Flag and Free Spirit. They kind of interesting kind of tie them together, and Rick Jones as well, who's been revealed to have been the Whisperer the whole time. It was kind of interesting, kind of seeing where it was stacking up, where it was kind of going, dealing with the Red Skull, doing a new kind of take on Hydra. You could kind of see a lot of overtones with like the current political election and everything, with making him pretty much seem like Donald Trump with how he was speaking, kind of fusing his Nazi origins with kind of like what the rhetoric's being said today. So it was kind of a little on the nose with that kind of stuff. I kind of just want good old-fashioned Red Skull Hydra. I mean, they're really associated with the Nazis, so fascism can't really be taken from Hydra, but I'd rather just it be in its own comic setting. I see enough of that kind of stuff already in the news, and I'd rather just kind of have none of the plain pure joy of seeing kind of like good guys fighting bad guys. And then we're seeing kind of the thought that he's trying to create new Hydra agents and also using people's suicide bombers. So the first kind of like combat thing that Steve was doing, kind of showing off his new outfit and his new shield, which I didn't really have a problem. I don't really have a problem with it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. And that's more kind of to deal with the artwork that's going on. It's not bad overall. I'll say that. What it really digs down into is facial expressions in certain areas, and mainly in like action sequences that it kind of gets weird. And it's just really not on point, or it really doesn't stick well together, and sometimes gets a little bit muddy, and I kind of don't like that. And Steve, of course, tries to talk down the suicide bomber, but he fails, and he's able to minimize it to just the front car. But it was kind of classic Steve, at least in the beginning. And then they're going after Baron Zemo since he escaped from Pleasant Hill and did all that kind of stuff. And again, I had a problem with how they were doing Baron Zemo. He seemed so ineffectual in trying to create his new group of villains who are just like, I need pay, I need to get out of the way. I mean, this better be good, Zemo. And he just didn't seem like he had much of a plan. He's like, we'll go after the Cosmic Cube, Kobik thing. And I'm like, really? I mean, you were doing that already. And kind of the manners that he did were really off. Like, he said toodles, and I'm like, I don't mind old kind of speak. I'm not against that. It just seemed so out of character and so out of context of what the place was. I'm like, he had very strange dialogue. I didn't understand what was going on with it. It was kind of strange. And then we get to the kind of reveal at the end where Steve gets onto his escaping jet. Free Spirit's taking out most of the Masters of Evil while Jack Flag comes on in to kind of like help Steve and everything. And Steve knocks out Zemo, and he's kind of ticked off that Jack Flag had come up, and he pushes him out of the plane and says, Hail Hydra. And this is alluded to throughout the flashbacks that are done, that Steve's mother had evidently been helped and got connections with a Hydra society back when he was a child, and that it alludes to him being indoctrinated or whatnot. And this is where I really did not like this. I mean, this seems like a giant gimmick, and it goes with this kind of stupid trend that I've been seeing, where people are taking heroes and making them into anti-heroes or outright villains. And it's kind of getting annoying and stupid. They've done this with Tony Stark, with like Civil War and Superior Iron Man, and it just falls flat. These aren't the characters that people are trying to follow. We know these characters. You can take a character and put him in a situation that tests their ideals, and that's fine. But when you change a character this fundamentally, who's had 75 years of being against the Nazis and against Hydra, there's no other way to look at it but a gimmick. I mean, even if you've got a plausible way to do it, the people have been saying that this is Steve, this is him. He's not double agent Thane or anything. This is Steve. And I'm like, no, that isn't Steve. He doesn't believe in what Hydra believes. He believes in helping those who need help, of standing against bullies, of doing what is right. Everything that Hydra doesn't really stand for. And I really don't like this. I'm like, oh, you want Steve back? Fine. He's a Hydra agent. It's like, you really gotta go that route? I mean, I didn't mind Sam as Captain America. I'd get two of them as Captain America, and that's fine. But now you're like, here's the twist. I'm like, no, it seems really gimmicky. And they're gonna have to do a lot of work to either undo it or make sure that it's whatever story they've got has to be able to really try and justify it, but I can't really see a story to be able to justify that at all. Unless it's Cosmic Cube stuff, and that's their only out. That the Cosmic Cube is warped reality, and like that. And change Steve's history or whatnot. Kind of like what they did with Sam when he was the Falcon. But even that is just not worth the story, in my opinion. So, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.